From a very young age, me and my siblings used to joke with my mom about having a black thumb. This means she couldn't grow anything. Me, on the other hand, I'm more interested in having a green thumb. And as a very young boy, I used to walk home from elementary school and go to my neighbor's house to help him in his garden. This is where my love for gardening emerged. And this past summer, I kept up the trend with building my own raised bed. This was a very fun task, and I've learned a lot throughout it. And I'm going to help share some information with y'all so you could maybe build your own. I'm going to do this by sharing some facts about it, along with the materials you'll need and the procedures to build and plant it. So, an important fact is that the pH of your soil matters. pH stands for potential hydrogen, which is an important part of growing vegetables and also can change the color of your flowers. Some plants like a more acidic pH, while others like more basic pH, so you need to know this to know what you want to plant in the soil that you have. Another interesting fact is that gardening is becoming more popular in the recent years in the United States, with 55% of households having a garden of some kind. 18 million households got a garden in 2021. This is a fact by Ruby Holm. Another interesting fact about sunflowers is that they're not just one big flower, but in the center where the black part is, there are 1 to 2,000 small flowers. And an important thing that need to know is that you don't need a dedicated decomposer to make your soil rich with your garden or with your food scraps. You can just put it in the soil and mix it in, and it will naturally decompose anywhere you put it. And it's very helpful for your garden. So some materials you will need in building this raised bed is some 2x6s. Here is a 2x4, but I would suggest getting a 2x6 or 2x8 so you don't have to have as many screws going into your 4x4, which is another piece of wood that you'll need. The 4x4 is a square bit of wood that is important in providing structure to your raised bed so that it can hold all the soil in it. So what you want to do is put the 2x4 at the end of your board, about here, and then screw it in to the 2x4, and then do that all around, making a rectangle or a box. And this will give you an area to put your garden in without having to mix fertilizer and stuff into the soil. So it's just an easier way of doing it at home. And you want to fill it with some like wood at the bottom to take up area so you don't have to completely fill it with soil, along with leaves and straw to keep the moisture in it, which is very beneficial for the plants. And then to fill it up, you may want to get some Miracle-Gro vegetable soil, which is you can't really see it well, but it's a very dark and rich soil, along with I have here is triple 10 or 10-10-10. It's a mixture of phosphorus, nitrogen, and carbon, which are the three main components that your plants need to grow. So after layering it all in, you want to get some manure, which I don't currently have, and then put about 2 inches of manure along the top of it, and then take a tool like this just to mix it up. So you will go like this all around and mix it in. And then after that, you got all the soil figured out. So you just need to worry on what you're planting and where. So these are two plants that grow really well together, which is peas and corn, because you can use the corn to hold up the pea vines. So the corn on the back, it will tell you all the information you need to know about it, like when to plant it, how far apart to plant it, how deep to plant it, how much sun it wants. So you can learn a lot about the plants that you're growing from the back of the packets. And corn likes to be 6 to 8 inches apart in the row, and then the rows like to be 12 inches apart. And you want to normally plant these in a square or something so that they can properly uh, pollinate each other, because they do cross pollination. they don't self-pollinate like tomatoes. So for to plant them, you might want to get a ruler, and they like to be planted every 8 or 6 to 8 inches. So I'll put an inch deep hole, drop 2 seeds in it because sometimes the seeds don't always sprout. So I like to be careful. So I put two here, and then I would go about 7 inches since it's from 6 to 8 inches. I would go 7 inches, do another one, and so on. And then I normally do like 4 or 6 rows of it in my garden, and they don't quite always have to be exactly as far apart as the back says. Like I didn't spread them out 12 inches apart, but they grew fine. You can, however, have them grow too closely sometimes, and then the plants will compete for nutrients in the soil and not always grow properly or provide a harvest. And you don't want that. So after you put the seeds in and lightly cover them with some soil, you want to water it very thoroughly so that the seeds have enough to start growing, and it will wetten the outside so that they sprout quicker. And then after doing that, you will put some of the fertilizer on it about 2 weeks after they sprout. And some plants will like it at the very end also. So I hope I helped you learn a lot more about how to build your own garden and upkeep it, along with providing some interesting facts. You can either use wood or plastic to build it, but you need to make sure you have a balanced composite in your bed or it won't grow properly. Thank you.